The darkness came. The darkness took all of the young, fertile women of all the surrounding villages. Only the aged and motherly type women remain now, and the children and the young men and the older men themselves. Each village is sending a group of men who meet at the Hammer and Grail Alehouse for lots to be cast, for a group to go into the Satyr's woods, find the evil beast that has let the darkness propagate the countryside. The beast must be destroyed, and it must happen soon before all is lost to the darkness. Each new group leaves at daybreak in the 1 hour of light with blessings from all, but none have returned yet. A new group is being chosen each and every day now. The able-bodied men are dwindling in numbers, and soon your name will be called. Will your group be the one to find and defeat the darkness, or become one of the names etched on the tavern's board as missing, presumed dead? Now, this evening we are playing the Hateful Place. It'll be my first time to run it. This adventure is called the Satyr's Woods. As we go inside the very busy and well-packed Hammer and Grail Alehouse, as we look and we see Mark Devonshire standing up on the little stage area with a wooden staff. You would know Mark has a lame leg. He was hurt many years ago and walks with a bad limp. He's reaching into a bowl and pulling out all the names that have been cast into this bowl to get our next group together. He reaches in, he pulls out a piece of paper, and he goes, Cornelius Follywall, come forward, please.
Cornelius stands up from the group, and he gives a slight nod, slightly nervous expression on his face, as he knows how many have gone out, have never come back. Of course, probably some of their more apt fighters at first, and then, lesser and lesser men dwindling down to Cornelius here, who is just a simple aristocrat. He had money before the darkness came, before the beast took his wife and his daughters. And now it's time for him to go and do his duty. He walks forward, hearing every footstep hit the wooden floor of the tavern as he steps up onto the stage and takes his name from Dustin, and nods to him, and then stands behind him, waiting for who else will join him.
Mark Devonshire looks at you and he goes, Good. I'm glad to see you up here, Cornelius. I believe your wisdom will bring what we need. Just let me see who is going to be joining you. He peels open the crumpled up piece of paper. Wolfstan Buckley, I believe. Can you come up, please?
A handsome man with a sword on his hip walks forward. Wolfstan is glad that his mother had died years ago from an illness, so she didn't have to see what is happening here now, but he did lose a sister to the darkness and to the monsters. And what he saw caused part of his hair to go white, with almost as if he'd aged a little bit prematurely. And though he was pampered for most of his life before the darkness came, he's happy to do his part to end the horrors that are happening. And this is Wolfstan Buckley.
As you join next to Cornelius, he's looking at another piece of paper and he goes, I believe I may have this name correct. If there's more than one of you, though, both of you stand, but Siegbert? Siegbert Blackmane?
He's a tall man, the very, very bushy mustache stand. He's not dressed like the rest. Everyone knows him. He's an outsider. Moved to town shortly before the darkness came with his brother, Ernie. Siegbert looks, he says, finally. Now we'll kill this darn thing. Well, you know, he kind of looks around the room, that even if it eats me and devours me, it will die, for a gypsy's blood is poisoned. And then he walks up to the stage.
Mark nods at you as you join the other two, and he says, our last person that is drawn for today's lots, Dunstan? Let's see, Dunstan Stroud.
Yes, I'm willing to go. Let's do this. You know, I've been a constant companion with you all. Been fighting this evil as long as anyone else. My wife and daughters and son will not have died in vain. So I will go and do this thing. He steps down.
The group has come together as Mark wishes you all well, and the cheers and camaraderie from the rest of the people there. And Mark looks towards you four and he says, it will be light soon. Are you prepared? Is there anything else you need before you leave out? You need to leave as soon as the light breaks to hopefully find this creature and take care of it before it becomes dark again. You do not want to be out in the dark too long.
Server.
Good.
I have Cerberus waiting outside for me. Perhaps he'll be able to lead the way. Do we have any items from the last group that maybe I could give to Cerberus to smell and track their scent?
Well, no, as you know, the groups leave out and are never seen again. Oh, it's become such of a disastrous time we live in, and you see he's almost lost hope in his eyes and things when you mention other groups, but I have faith in you four. I think you four will be the ones to finish the task and bring back some joy that we much need.
How could we fail when we have this gypsy magic to help us? And he gestures at Siegbert.
This is true. We never fail. We never die. We always return. Well, in the spring, when it's time for the fair. Usually in the winter, we head south because it's a little bit warmer there. But in the spring, we always return. Always return. And I hear you are bringing food? I haven't had dog in months. Where is this dog? He licks his lips.
Oh, no, Cerberus is not for eating, sir.
I find it bad manners to name your animals that are going to be our meal. It makes me feel bad about when I eat them. I know that you Whigs don't care about eating things with names, but we gypsies, we do not like to eat named things, so I would just call it dog if it's okay with you.
Cornelius, he tries to straighten his ascot a little bit, and sort of takes a few breaths and says, perhaps we should be focused on fighting this beast and not being at each other's throats.
Oh, I'm confused. You want to go on an empty stomach?
He wants to keep his dog.
Oh, yes. Well, the noble class always wants to keep everything, don't they? Well, we starve.
Yeah.
When was the last time you've had dog, Dunstan?
Yeah, I haven't.
Exactly.
I've had veggies, unless you're going to eat the flesh.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is something you cannot believe. The tenderness of the meat, the flavor. He rubs his belly.
The mention of magics from Wolfstan about Siegbert, and now Siegbert going into this tirade about eating a dog's flesh. A bunch of the older people in the audience are starting to gasp, and you hear a bunch of them going, "He's a warlock. One of those believers, those warlocks. He's probably the cause of all this. I hope the rest of them, they better watch him."
He's used to people talking about him. He's a gypsy.
Yeah. Perhaps we should go, though, before we cause some sort of scene or disturbance.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
we do not want to be caught in dark with this thing, right?
No.
Fear not.
Mark hobbles down off the stage with his staff as he makes his way to the door, and he says, "It appears the light is about to come forth. Please, we will look for you soon. Please be the group that comes back."
Siegbert pulls, from under his shirt a crucifix, and he does like a sign of cross or whatever, and it says a quick prayer, and then puts it back under. And he looks at the place and he says, "We will return to a feast." And he winks at Wolfstan and then walks out.
As y'all make your way out, the light breaks, and you head, it's not very far walk to get into what's called the Satyr's Woods. It's always a dark looking place, though, even with the hour of daylight. And as you approach the woods and start to enter them, this is what it looks like. You see the light trying to break through, but you see the mist and stuff rolling across and the darkness of the woods itself as you make your way there, and you start hearing maybe birds chirping or something, normal sounds that you don't hear much anymore, as it seems to be almost a sunrise breaking, but the sunrise will not last long.
Are you all comfortable with running? We can cover more ground if we run.
I'm a fine runner.
I will be right behind Wolfstan.
I'm sure my knees are not what they used to be, but I shall keep up as best I can, Cerberus and I. Come, Cerberus.
Yes, do not fall behind, old gent.
You know what they say satyrs do in these woods.
What do they say? I have not heard.
Yes, Siegbert, what
These
do
things-
they say?
These things are not normally spoken of in front of the women, but there's no more women now, is there? And he smacks your ass and runs forward.
No more women, and Wolfstan will blush. And we're running.
Yes.
All right. You run for a few minutes, and you four go through the woods, seeing fairly well, but you run into an opening here with this large tree, and this is what you observe. You see your fellow townsfolk from the villages hanging from this tree in various places, and you see this old woman with this long flowing white hair that is just kind of whistling to herself, and she's walking along picking up sticks off the ground and put them into a bundle. She hasn't noticed you or anything. She's just walking along, picking up these sticks, kind of whistling to herself. And you see the bodies in several decomposed states, some of them worse than others. And as you do, Cornelius, you look towards the tree. You see a friend of yours. Who is it?
Uh, I see my old friend, James Upton. He and I were very good friends. Went into politics together. Had slightly different views, but we're still able to get along fairly well. He left. He was one of the not the last group, but very recently, and he had never returned. And now seeing James Upton here, Cornelius kind of freezes, doesn't really know what to do or say. And Cerberus by his side looks at James, having known James for a while. How does Cerberus react?
Cerberus, is probably a little fearful right now, I would think. It's seeing all these bodies and the smell of the decay and the flesh, and you see birds moving back and forth now, coming out of the dark itself into the light to eat on these bodies. And as you do, we look at you, Wolfstan, as you take note of this, and you see someone hanging from this tree that you know, Wolfstan. Who is it?
I see an old friend from who used to work in my father's merchant store. And his name is Charles Brandon. And he was my best friend since we were running around on the streets together. And he falls to his knees. There's a chance they were more than friends. And he just says, "Oh no, Charles, not you. I can't believe it's you." And he weeps.
As the tears begin to flow from Wolfstan, Siegbert, you don't have time to look over at Wolfstan to see what's going on, because you look up in the tree and see someone you know. And who is that?
So hanging in the tree, almost oddly shaped, very, very thin and tall man that was a friend of Siebert. Bird was his name. James Bird. He was a hunter, though he didn't seem to eat much because he was quite thin and quite tall. And Siebert looks at him and he says, "Ah, I knew he wasn't gypsy blood. If he was, this would be over by now." And you would call it to the woman.
As you say that, we go to Dunstan. As Dunstan, you look up in the tree and hear the talk and the tears coming and the emotions flowing, but you're ignoring that now as you look in the tree, Dunstan, and see someone hanging that you know.
It's good old Tom Oslo, a fellow soldier who disappeared into the mist one time as we were hunting down demons. He appears to be much more gaunt, almost skeletal from what I remember. I cross myself and pray he was not long for the mist and that his death was quick, not what his body shows.
At hearing the emotions come out and things, the old woman that is picking up and adding to this bundle of limbs and sticks still moves along, totally ignoring your group, as if she is not even, you think, even noticed you yet.
I'm going to call out to her. "Old woman, be you a peddler of flesh? We do not believe in those customs around here."
When you call out to her, she almost drops the bundle of sticks as you catch her by surprise at her not expecting maybe someone here, and she goes, "No, I do not deal in flesh. I deal in things that protect myself. There is much darkness these days. Are you part of the dark itself?"
I think we all have darkness inside us. We are the light, so to speak, here to stop the purge upon our village and the missing women. Did I see any women hanging in the trees, or are they all men?
No, they're all these men. Every one of them's men.
So say, what have you done with the woman? What have you done with the woman?
I have done nothing with anyone. It is not me that you search for. Do I appear the evil radiating off me so much? No, I do not think so.
I am no paladin with detect evil. I go by my senses and I see you hanging with rotted flesh. What makes me think anything but evil from you?
Your mind is poisoned.
Let me read your future. I pull out my tarot cards.
Dunstan shoulders his rifle and holds the match close to the hole, the powder hole.
When you do that,
Oh,
the
sorry.
old woman looks at you and she starts cackling. You fools! You do not know the darkness that waits for all of us. You have turned your attention to the wrong one. You should continue on and find the truth that you seek.
Wolfstan will stand up, wipe the tears from his eyes, and say, "If you're lying to us, old woman, Siegbert here won't have to read your future because you won't have one."
Indeed. I'll put the cards back and walk past her.
Are you going to walk on past her?
She's blocking the path, right?
No. I mean, you can go around her very easily. She's just.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like bump her or anything. I keep going the direction we're going.
Yeah,
Yeah, she when you move that way, she will actually start moving away and just start picking up sticks, and you hear her muttering words to herself.
Are you sure leaving the crone is the best thing?
Well, there's something of truth in her words. Either that or we're all going to our death. There's no way to really know, is there? Would you like to choose your fate? And I hold out the tarot cards.
He'll take one.
Oh, Dunstan, my good man, do not play with the devil's magic.
I've played with enough magic and evil. He pulls the card, holds it up to Siegbert.
Okay, let's see. It's a this is the Eight of Cups. Oh, a journey is in your future. Balance. This is good. This is good information. Hopefully the journey will not be to your maker. Let's hope for the best. It is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. And then he takes it back and shuffles it into the deck and then starts going off in the direction.
The only cards I know are hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades.
Wolfstan will follow Siegbert.
Yep, as you progress on by her, Dunstan, you walk past her, the last one, and you just have to look around to see, and you look around to where she was standing, and you see just mist coming down again. You don't see her. Make a soul roll for me.
No.
You feel just cold, a cold chill as you just, and then you feel a little bit of warmth come across of you, maybe from some of the rays of the light that is coming down. But She's not there anymore. It's just a mist that is in that area of where she was, but nothing else happens.
The witch is taken to the mist.
Yes.
Do we see the mist? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if when he points that out, if the rest of you turn and look, you can just see the mist flowing across the ground there in that whole area. It looks normal, kind of like it does in that photo.
I do not like to leave an enemy behind me.
Maybe she's not an enemy. Perhaps she's just an old woman who. I say we keep our minds focused on the task at hand, Dunstan.
Carrie is very close to rotten flesh. I say she's evil, but I say we have bigger fish to fry, as they say.
Yes, and very little daylight with which to fry them.
Indeed, though I do some of my best frying in the dark.
Well, onto the trail then.
And speaking of trail, once you pass the hanging tree, you do pick up a trail through the woods itself, a foot trail that appears it has been used, recently off and on. And as you do, everybody make a mind roll as you're looking there on the trail.
Yes for Dunstan.
No for Wolfstan.
No for Sigbert.
Cornelius felt.
Dunstan, you're standing there, all of you are looking on the trail to see what you see, and it shocks you as you look down and you see, what has been a bipedal farm that has been walking through here, but it's not actually any type of boot prints or footprints of a human. It appears to be a bipedal farm with these goat hooves and these things of such that has been coming through here.
See, look, the tracks of the demon are here.
That's simply a goat.
Yes, a goat that walks upright. Perhaps you and the witch should get together and have a picnic.
Well, part of our show actually was animals that walked on their hind legs regularly. Though I will admit that's not very common. How deep are the footprints? Does it seem like something heavy made them? Like
Oh yeah, you would think for sure that they definitely would weigh well over 100 pounds. I mean, it's leaving a pretty in-depth footprint. Or much heavier. Some of them appear to be much heavier also.
Oh, okay.
Impressions.
Whatever it is, it's large.
Well, we must be wary then. Luckily, we can, if it approaches us, we can use the food for bait. Although, I'd rather it in my stomach, but at least if we can save our lives, it'll be good.
If it leaves footprints, then perhaps we can shoot it. And if we can shoot it, then we can kill it.
Yes.
Well, before we barbecue your mutt, why don't you set that dog to it?
Yes. Cornelius, here. And he's going to get Cornelius to sniff the foot tracks and try and get him to track where this animal might have gone.
I hope you do mean Cerberus is going to sniff, not Cornelius.
Cerberus, yes.
The darkness has already taken his mind.
We realize that actually the dog is supposed to be and the pet.
I've been aiming at the wrong person.
Well, I'm not eating him.
Yep, he lets out a couple of yelps to you, Cornelius, and starts going down the trail ahead of you.
Quickly, let us follow him. And Cornelius will take his rifle and begin to follow Cerberus.
How far do you want to be behind him? Because he's starting to not all out run, but you can see once he picks up a scent that he's definitely on it.
I mean, I'll follow, at least 10 feet, let's say. I'll try and stay, fairly close.
You follow the trail for a little ways, and it comes out into an opening. And when it does, Cornelius Cerberus kind of starts barking. And as you come to this opening, you see this old house that is sitting there in the middle of the forest. And you see above the roof of it, it has some kind of effigy built out of something that is there. But this old house is just sitting there.
Why? Oh, we found something, Cornelius says to the group.
So you followed the trail straight ahead and came to the house. Wow, that's very useful. Good thing we had the dog.
Yes, I agree.
Well, clearly it's a witch's house. Let's burn it down. Who brought a torch?
Should we first check if any of the women are inside?
I think the women are inside here.
These politicians. Who needs women?
Maria, are you in there?
When you yell that out, a figure steps out from behind you.
I shoot it.
All right.
Holy shit.
Roll initiative.
Oh, of course you do.
What'd you get, Crystal?
9.
How would you get a 9 on a D6?
Oh, I'm sorry. A 1.
All right, it had a 1 also. So your group can go first. You said you're going to shoot at them. You see this figure that's come out of the woods.
And this one, when we both roll at the same time, you're supposed to roll to see if a random creature shows up.
And it does not. So yeah, you see this figure step out behind you, your group. And you're going to shoot it at Cornelius? Go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, I rolled a D20 and rolled a 9, so I guess that's what I rolled for my attack.
Yep. So you miss it as your shot goes
I
off.
have a being a politician and all. I have a little bit more expensive gun, a will lock.
Nope. You don't have a wheel lock. They're not invented yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Got a match lock.
Yeah. So I mean, I shoot at it, but either way, I'm way off on my shot. I mean, I've like never fired this before in my life. So.
Yep. You shoot at them and completely miss. What would the rest of you like to do? Anything?
Sigmar's going to take like a few steps back, put his hand on his saber, and he's going to say, "What type of beast are you? And where are our women?" Because apparently these guys want the women.
Any of you ever two? Dunstan, Wolfson, you want to do anything at this point?
I will draw my sword, but I'm not going to rush at it yet. I'm going to see what it does.
Right.
A bit surprised by everything. I'm just going to grab my axe instead of steadying the rifle.
All right. This creature opens its mouth, and as it does, this big gust of wind comes out straight towards you, Cornelius, and it appears it's fixing to hit you and blow you down, but it grabs the rifle, the wind does, out of the rifle, out of your hand, and takes it and just throws it as it crashes into a tree and breaks in half. Your rifle does, your musket. And you hear this figure go, "You should never, ever start with violence. Violence is not the answer out here."
Cornelius falls to the ground, like falls back and lands on the ground and just shaking in fear.
Violence is always the first move for the politician. What type of creature are you? I have not seen you before. You're surely no man.
I am not all man, that is correct. I could tell you my history, but it would take a long time that you do not have. I have been in battles, as you can tell. Part of my horns have been taken through the years of fighting the battles of the evil things that have come. And now we have something in the forest, the woods. They do not belong to the good anymore since the darkness has come. You need to find and destroy the darkness itself. It is in these woods. I do not know where it roams, but I have looked for it. But it has eluded me, much like it has your friends that hang from the tree.
What form? Do you know what form that it takes? This thing?
Oh, well, it will take a form of much like me when you see it, but it much more evil radiates from it. It will look much like me and walk like me, but it is not me.
And we're to take your word for that?
Don't be deceived by this demon.
You have seen what I did to your friend's armament there. I destroyed it. I could have destroyed him, but I did not.
He has a point, Dunstan.
Not all creatures that dwell in the woods are demons. And those that you think might be angels do not look the way that you think they should.
Well, he looks like the spawn of a demon.
Yes, looks can be deceiving.
Cornelius, make me a resolve roll for your dog, Cerberus, please.
Okay. Good. A 2.
All right.
So this thing looks like you, but is not you.
It has, well, partly like me, but like I say, once you encounter it, you will see the evil. You will, if you do not run away immediately, oh, I do not know, you will probably be hanging from the tree tomorrow.
See how he threatens us?
Oh, that
We
is
took
no
him by
threat.
surprise. We had him. And now we've allowed him. He's speaking lies to us.
Creature of the forest, so that I may know you when we see you again, will you wear this? And I pull a sash from around my waist. This will prevent, and he kind of looks at Dunstan, my friend here, from shooting too quickly when we see what might be you.
Yes, I will. And he starts walking, approaching you and putting out the arm that's not carrying this staff to grasp it.
Yep, I hand it to him.
Yeah, and as you do, make a soul roll for me.
I got a 2. That's good.
Yeah, you nothing. You grab it from him. He kind of lets almost a smile out, and he says, "You need to move and move fast before the darkness returns, or the beast. He will find you and devour every one of you."
Well, let's hope not. Shall we?
Yes.
Yes,
You can get
let's
up
go.
now, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Cornelius is
Cornelius up.
yeah, he's getting up and brushing himself off.
Yep, and you
After
look
some-
over and you see that your musket rifle is completely torn all to pieces, and knowing that hopefully you brought some other type of weapon in case you need it.
Oh my. Oh my. I certainly hope that. I certainly hope they have a few more rifles when we get back to town.
Here, old man, take this. It might not be as fancy as you're used to. And Dunstan throws his matchlock at him.
Oh, yes. But what will you use?
I have my axe.
Oh, I have a sword here. Don't worry about me. I have at least a backup.
Yes. But I have a feeling you're not used to being hand to hand.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you, Dunstan. Shall not forget this.
Nor will
Yes.
I.
We'll
Dunstan,
stand.
I do like a man that likes it hand to hand.
He just kind of gives you a sideways glance.
He stretches it. Let's go. Let's move forward. Let us kill this beast before my stomach growling gets so loud that it's almost as loud as that shot that gave us away.
You're right.
You see the
Cerberus.
creature. The creature looks at all of you and he goes, I must prepare myself for when the darkness comes again. And he takes off running towards his house and runs in and closes the door behind him.
I guess it's a good thing we didn't burn it to the ground.
Right. It's better to do it now that he's in there. However, let's
As I
see what
was
else.
thinking. Yet again,
Yes.
another enemy we leave on our backside.
Oh, don't worry. We will take care of anything we need to on the way back.
Well,
What,
I'm going to
Seabird,
hold
no
you to
comment
those
about
words.
no comment about being on someone's backside?
You make me blush.
He pushes his white lock of hair out of the way and says, we're losing the light. Let's go. Whichever way we go.
Yes, let's go. Let's continue.
Is there any kind of
return back to civilization? What remains of it?
Do we know which way to go? Is there tracks? Does
Once,
your dog?
once you go past the this house, you see all various trails that are leading off into the forest itself. It's no longer one main trail. Your dog, make me a mind roll for Cerberus.
Okay. Not one.
Oh man, he's running back and forth between all the trails, and then he stops and looks up at you, Cornelius, and just lets out a whine.
It seems that Cerberus has lost the trail, and
this is a
for-
common this is a common trick where I'm from. You simply and he pulls out, his man part and he starts peeing on all the different trails. He says, this is all the creature did. You pee at each trailhead, and he pees on all of them. Then no one can find you. But we have all the information we need. We go to where it is the most dark. So I'm going to look for the darkest trail.
Yeah, make me a mind roll.
I'm not very smart. My character's not very smart. But you never know. Oh, actually, I rolled 20. That's pretty good.
Oh wow, yeah. You do that, and you take a sniff or two, and you're like, this is the right one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I shake myself off and stow my equipment, and off we go.
All right. You go down the trail. You start seeing some more tracks that appear to be the same type of bipedal, and these impressions in the ground appear to be larger, much bigger than the creature that you encountered at the house.
Oh, fantastic.
Y'all continue for a ways. You come out into a clearing, and everything is still and quiet. I mean, through this time, you've actually heard birds and maybe some forest animals in the time, but everything is quiet and still as you come out into this opening. And as you do, you hear some brush moving and stuff, some trees parting the way. And this is what you see come through. You see this creature bipedal, much larger than the one that you encountered, is holding this large spear. And it lets out. So we can roll for initiative. I'm going to say, Wolfstan, you can get this one for us.
Okay. 4.
Your group wins. What would you like to do as you see this creature?
I would probably shoot at it with my rifle.
All right.
I'm going to. So I have as one of my items, because I'm like a gypsy showman. I have like a flash powder bomb. Like they throw down like a magic trick.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know exactly what that would do mechanically. I figured you would figure it out. So I'm just going to throw that at his foot to try to blind it or whatever.
All right. Whoever wants to go first is whatever one.
If you want to do that first, Sigbert, that sounds like a good
Well, I will
plan.
try that first. You just want me to make a roll?
Yep.
Oh, I rolled another 20. Aha! I will never do that
Nice.
again.
Is it actually gunpowder, or is it just like a?
Yeah, it's like a little grenade, but like mostly made for like a flash, like a firecracker, basically. Not so much of an explosive weapon. I'm more going for like a blind or stun.
Yeah,
idea.
I'll let him make some kind of deal here. See if he is able to knock it off. He closes his eyes. It does. The creature closes his eyes as you do this, and you see him walking kind of around, maybe not towards your group now, but he's trying to get his senses about him. It did have some effect on him.
Excellent. Take the beast down.
Okay.
Wolf stand. Did you want to shoot at him now?
Yep, sure. Yep.
All right.
Ooh, yep, that's a 18, or actually 20 plus 2, 18 to hit.
All right.
And it's 40-10, right?
Yep. 40-10.
Ooh, 20, 25.
25. Okay. Your shot rings into a very meaty, fleshy part of this creature, and it lets out one of those howls again, but this is more of a howl of pain. As you can tell, you've done quite some damage to it. Cornelius or Dunstan, what do y'all want to do?
Cornelius will lower the rifle that Dunstan gave him, and he pulls the trigger, but he's not anticipating like how long it'll actually take the shot to go off. So by the time it actually goes off, he's pulled way off of the creature and just shoots up in the air, basically.
All right. Cornelius is not used to that rifle. Dunstan.
Dunstan places both hands on the heft of his axe and charges forward
All right.
like any dutiful soldier would at this point.
What'd you roll, Dunstan, for your attack?
Oh, I didn't know I was going to clear that much ground.
Oh, yeah, you can get to him, no doubt about it.
That is a swing and a miss.
A swing and a miss. This creature is trying to get its senses. So, I mean, it senses you there, Dunstan, as you run up on it, but you can see now his eyes are real blurry and stuff as he's looking around, and he's trying to point the spear out. And you see him lower the spear. You would see it first, Dunstan. You see the flesh and blood and rotten stuff on the end of the spear tip that you can tell is probably some of your fellow villagers that have faced the end of this. You see this creature take off running at this unbelievable speed straight towards you, Sigbert. Nat 1. It runs off looking straight towards you, Sigbert, and you see it trip on itself and fall and go splaying out. And as it does, the spear goes about 10 feet from it, and you let it hear out a yell again. And
Nice.
We'll go back to initiative. Wolfstand, you can continue for this.
Okay. Oh, no, 1.
All right, it had a 2. You see it stand up, and it's like grabbing and looking for its spear. And it just lets out a bellow, and not seeing its spear, it is going to turn and look. It's still partly blinded. It's charging towards you, Wolfstand, with its head down with these big horns. It's going to try to ram into you, and it's going to miss you, Wolfstand.
All right.
So it is up to y'all's group now. This thing is right on top of Wolfstand, though.
As it's charging at Wolfstand and misses him, Cornelius has finally gotten the powder packed up and everything again. He lowers the rifle and pulls the trigger with a 19 to hit and smacks it, and the bullet pierces its flesh for 25 points of damage.
25 points, okay. You see this creature as you run into it, and it stumbled around trying to get its senses about him, let out this hideous yell that just permeates all of you as you're standing there, and it falls down at Wolfstand's feet, not moving.
Okay, in that case, I must have like shot it as it was charging and like smacked it in the skull.
I had my sword out when I saw it charging. I had dropped my rifle and tried to pull my sword, and it see it fall at my feet after missing me. I poke at it, you know. Is it alive?
Cut off its head and take its testicles.
Well, I can see
Dunstan's
them.
on this.
You want to do the honors, Dunstan? You have the axe. You want to
Oh,
cut
he's
the...
already swinging at the neck with the axe.
Okay.
So
I'll stem
Push
back.
neck.
Don't want to get too much blood on my cloak here.
do I need to roll for this, or are you unarmed
As you-
man? Oh,
as
that's
you
an
get
18.
up there, as you get up there, Dunstan, and start to try to do that,
Yes.
all four of you hear the most hideous, blood-curdling yell and scream coming from on further deep into the forest.
I still hit the neck.
Does it sound like a male or a female scream? Or like a monster scream?
It sounds like another one of these beasts, but even worse.
Oh.
But he didn't say that there were two of them. The man, he didn't say there were two of. He said that there was one.
Yes. Let's take its head and its testicles.
Chop, chop.
Are you planning on eating the testicles? Like
I mean,
like Rocky Mountain oyster? I guess I wouldn't know about that yet, but
well, we could talk about that later. But we gotta take these creatures. That's where they get their power.
oh, okay. I did not know that. Your gypsy magic coming in handy.
See, all male creatures get their power from their testicles.
Once I have severed the head, Dunstan's going to go and pick up the large spear. Is it something that he can manage?
Before you get to that point to pick up the spear, as you're finishing the severing of the head of this evil creature, Siegbert, you feel something behind you. Make a soul roll for me, though.
19. I'm glad I switched dice.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. It might be 18. No, it's 19. Yeah.
Siegbert, roll initiative for me because you're fixing to need it.
Oh, great. Oh, 6.
Uh-oh.
Damn it. I wasted 2 good rolls. I know I did. Well, I guess 6 is good for initiative, right?
Yep, it had a 6 also. Let me roll for the other deal.
Ooh.
Nope, does not go off. You stand and you feel it behind you, Siegbert. You foul breath, the reeking as this mist has appeared, and the mist goes away, and this thing is breathing down your neck. As you turn and look at this creature, but it is more evil and more foul than the one you just took down, as it's standing there fixing to try to eat you, Siegbert. But your group's up first.
Okay. I mean, I'm right up on it, so I'm just going to. I was drawing my sword to get the testicles because it didn't look like Dunstan was going to do it. So I guess I'm going to try to hack it with. I'm going to hack it with my sword, hopefully. I am not with an 11.
The rest of you look up and see this creature that has appeared out of the mist and the fog that is standing there on top of Siegbert.
I had dropped my rifle and drawn my sword, so I guess I will run up on it and try to hack at it.
All right.
Not with a 4.
Cornelius just stands there shaking, and you see a large wet spot appear on his pants as he rolled on that one.
Did you shoot the rifle?
I mean, like I was going to, but I rolled on that one. So whatever you want to say.
Luckily, the shot goes off and almost hits Siegbert as it goes flying by him, but it missed him barely. But yep, you miss. Dunstan, are you still cutting the head off?
Is my axe that dull? No, I will turn towards the new target and go running into that.
All right. Make an attack against it.
Oh, it's a 20.
All right, that hits it.
Oh, suddenly my dog is running on my leg. That is, holy cow. That is 33.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
That is good. Maybe. Maybe not. You never know. You strike into it with your axe. You start smelling this awful, awful blood. Though I mean, it's just putrid smell rolling out of it, and now it turns and it looks towards both you, Dunstan, and both towards you, Siegbert. And its mouth opens in this reeking breath. All of you look towards Siegbert. Siegbert, make me a soul roll.
2. Some are saying
All
no.
three of you see Siegbert transform as you see these horns sprout on the top of Siegbert's head. And all of you can make a mind roll. And let me know if you pass the other 3.
Yes, with a 15.
All right.
Yes.
No.
Dunstan, you and Wolfstand both know that demons and devils come in many form, and a lot of them will try to perceive themselves as being human, and then they will show their true selves as you see these horns come up on Siegbert. So in other words, at this point, you don't know if Siegbert's a demon or if he's a human.
Oh
I
boy.
mean, I'm guessing since Cornelius failed, he's convinced that Sigbert's a demon, right?
Nope, you failed, so you don't recall any of this. You have no idea.
Oh.
If you passed, you recall the stories about it.
Wow. Okay.
So you have no idea, Cornelius, when you see this happening, exactly what's going on. I mean, you know, he's probably still your friend right now.
Yeah, I just saw horns appear on his head, though, right?
Yep.
I mean, I would assume he's a demon.
Well, that's up to you to play out. Daniel, or I'm sorry, Siegbert, initiative.
2 that time.
All right, your group goes first. It had a 1.
Okay. Am I still me? Or should I kill the group?
To you, yeah, you're still you, but they see you with these horns sprouted on your head.
All right, perfect. Then I'm going to. I'm too close to view the spell. All right, so I'm actually going to just start swinging my sword again. I'm going to say, "Foul beast." 16. So that should be good.
Yep, that hits him.
Okay. And are you doing the defense roll or just not doing it?
No, I'm not doing it on him right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to roll awesome damage, then be like, no. 21. No, so that wasn't awesome damage.
21, okay.
Cut into it.
You feel more of that old nasty smell of that blood and stuff rolling out, but it's still standing up.
Even though I see Siegbert grow horns, I still think to myself, one problem at a time, and I am gonna go for the creature again.
All right.
If I can. Oh, 14 plus 2, yeah, 16.
Yep, 16 hits him.
Not very good damage again, though, 20.
All right, you strike into him as you smell more of this awful blood. It's still standing.
Okay.
Dunstan, Cornelius.
Dunstan doubles over from the nausea right now.
All right.
Cornelius will shoot, I guess. Let's see. Oh, nat 20.
You're shooting at the creature, okay?
Yeah, nat 20.
All right.
Is that going to still be 40-10 or is that going to be
40? Yep, 40-10.
All right. 20 damage.
Yeah, you strike into it as it lets out this hideous yell. It's still standing right now. Siegbert, next round. It had a 6.
Great. 4.
A 4, okay. It is going to look at, let's see. It looks towards you, Wolfstan, as you're there close to it. And is going to take these wicked looking claws, and you see something off these claws. They're just like almost it's blood, but you know it's probably not blood as it drives these claws into you for 19. Oh no, that's not. Let's see. 37 points of damage. Wolfstan.
That was my hit points, so I'm at 0.
All right, you see Wolfstan fall to the ground as this thing just shreds into Wolfstan. And we'll remind you to do your soul roll after in a little bit, but you are down on the ground.
Okay.
The rest of you see this happen, but Dunstan, both you and Cornelius, of course, you see Siegbert standing there with horns growing out of his head.
Do I know I have horns?
No, unless you reach. I mean, would you think? I mean, you wouldn't feel them. I mean, really, on this.
Okay. I mean, unless they're heavy.
Unless you reached, unless you saw them looking at you weird and wondering what's going. But I mean, no, I wouldn't think you would.
Okay, yeah. If I don't feel them, okay, then that's fine. Then I mean, I'm just going to attack the thing again.
All right.
I missed that time with the 2. Well,
All right,
I'm
you miss
distracted
it?
by the beautiful piece of man meat falling on the ground.
Yep. Dunstan, you and Cornelius see your friend Wolfstan fall just shredded to pieces on the ground.
Cornelius cries out, Wolfstan, no! And then he shoots the gun, but he's too distracted by Wolfstan to hit the beast.
All right. Dunstan?
Unfortunately, seeing in these times, seeing another man fall next to him does nothing for Dunstan. And right now he's trying to decide whether to attack Siegbert or the large foul beast. Well, it's a 16. He'll go for the large foul beast that he knows.
All right.
So you mean Siegbert?
Yes. That is a whopping 18 points.
You use an axe, right?
Yeah.
You cut your axe into this beast as the blood just starts pouring out and going everywhere, and a bunch of it just explodes out almost like an explosion and hits you, Dunstan. Make me a body roll.
Is this versus poison?
It is.
Then I make it.
All right. You will take, as this thing explodes onto you, you will take, let's see, 14 points of damage as this thing just blows up and explodes all over on top of you, Dunstan.
14 points?
Yep, 14 points since you made your roll.
Okay.
You see the guts and the gore of this thing as it just all over the ground. It seems to have been taken care of at this point.
Oh, Wolfstein. And I'm gonna go over and see if I can recover, make him. Can I heal? I don't have any healing spells.
Those hills, are those horns still on Siegbert?
You see, I'll tell you, well, make me another soul roll, Siegbert.
That time I got a 16. There's no modifiers. That's success. Yeah.
Cornelius, both you and Dunstan look towards Siegbert and shake your heads, trying to see what you're seeing or not seeing, but he appears to be normal. There are no horns on his head. Wolfstan, make your soul roll to see if the demon's going to take you away.
Okay. I made it 15. Exactly.
You're lucky. Maybe you'll go to a good place then.
I'm going to, seeing that he's dead, a small tear goes to Siegbert's eye, and then he goes and chops the heads off the 2 other creatures and takes the testicles.
Yeah, as you start, this creature is just imploded everywhere. I mean, it's you can take the parts, but as you do that, as you're busy doing that, Cornelius, you and Dunstan make a mind roll for me.
I failed.
That's a pass.
Man, Dunstan, you're all right. Dunstan, you look up and you see this creature standing over the edge of the forest there where you've come in, and it's holding like this torch. As you probably maybe that catches your eye, the light it's illuminating from this torch, and it's much smaller than the one you just fought, and also much smaller than the first one. But it takes its arm and it's like motioning you back to the trail you come from, and it's holding this torch out to your group.
Another one of those demons. Perhaps a friend of the old one. He's motioning us that way. And he'll point in the direction where he sees him.
Well, it's always good advice to follow any demon that is leading you through the woods, I say. And I pack up the testicles that I have, and then I go. I guess we should take Wolfstan. Well, yeah, I'll take him.
You'll take him?
Yes. I mean, you know.
I'll take his head.
This is Ed? All right.
I'm taking his head.
All right.
The sucker isn't coming back on me.
Yeah. We'll take the head. We'll take Wolfstan and all of their testicles. I mean, she won't let me.
Dunstan, are you going to approach this creature first? I mean, is this motioning for you that way?
Can I retrieve that spear? And is it too heavy for me to carry?
You look down and you see the spear is disappeared. It's completely gone now.
Okay, then I'll just I write this off as more demon magic, and I'll follow the other demon.
When you walk up to him, he reaches out with the torch that is lit, and he hands it to you, and you hear in your mind, "Find your way out of the darkness now before it returns."
And I look. Did anybody hear that?
Nope, no one else. If you ask them, they all look at you puzzled.
He said, "Take the light and leave before darkness returns."
But what about my Maria? I can't just leave her out here.
We'll find her another day.
Yeah, we know where they are now.
Let's take the wind that we have. We won this battle. We can come back and win another one.
Dunstan, as you begin to do that, this creature steps back into the forest and the mist envelops him, and he disappears back into there as you're holding this torch. Dunstan, how's the story going to end for you?
Well, he will make his way back to the village, sharpen his tools, and be ready to go the next day. Because clearly this forest is infested with these demons. And there's still those women to be found.
You make your way back with the light of the torch, and you arrive just back close to the Hammer Grail right before the total darkness falls again. But as we do that, Siegbert, how's that story going to end for you?
Big Bird gets back. He's a little bit down, you know. You know, the old saying, all the good ones are either taken or killed by demons in the woods. So he's now, you know, on the lookout for another possible friend. And he has his sword ready, and probably, hopefully the rest of the town doesn't side-eye him anymore for being, you know, different, and sees him more heroic. And if not, he'll go out and slay some more demons to prove his worth.
All right. Works good. Cornelius, what about you and your faithful hound?
Cornelius returns, but feels like he didn't really accomplish much. I mean, he's with one of the first groups to actually come back, but you know, his Maria is still up in that forest somewhere. And, you know, he has renewed hope that perhaps she actually is still alive. And he will claim the rifle that Dunstan has given him he will do a few practice shots as he prepares to go back out into the woods and you know, either find his wife or die trying.
All right. Wolfstan, since you made your soul roll, what happens to the soul of Wolfstan?
Wolfstan is shredded by the demon, and then he sees a light, and he sees Charles, his friend, waiting there for him, and he says, Charles, at least I got to come back to be with you. Maybe in the future we will have another friend join us in this happy place. And that's how it ends for him.
All right. Once again, we played a game of the Hateful Place. This was a setting in the dark of the early 1500s, somewhere in Europe. Um, we go back to the forest, the woods, the Satyr's woods. In a day or so, we see the old witch picking up the bundle of sticks under the tree again. We see the fawn come out, and they both start talking to each other. And she goes, "Well, we did our best to help that group, and maybe they did listen to some advice we gave them, but I see one of them didn't make it back, and they stopped the darkness for now, I guess." And the fawn looks and goes, "Yes, we did our best, and that foolish old man that had no wisdom wanted to take a shot at me, and I could have just blew him back against the tree and imploded his body into pieces, but I did not. I followed your advice, and I just did it to his weapon, just his weapon this time." The women's bodies, or the women from the villages, surrounding villages, are never found. None of the bodies are never found. No one ever knows what happens to them. Slowly, very slowly, the Satyr's woods, part of the light starts returning during the day. It's not always dark as it has been. And the last thing we see is the beast that is standing there. It had the torch that he gave to Dunstan to lead him out. You see him standing holding another torch. That will end the adventure known as the Satyr's Woods. Thanks to Crystal, Nikki, Daniel, and Mike for playing.